My goal with this video is to give you my buyer presentation. I'm interviewing with you for the position to represent you and be your real estate agent. Home buyers, listen up. The real estate landscape is shifting dramatically. You now have unprecedented control over your agent's compensation. Your choice of agent matters more than ever. Choosing the right agent can make the difference between a smooth home buying journey and a bumpy ride. In this video, I'm going to break down the 7 essential pillars of a successful home buying journey. I'm not just going to tell you about these pillars, I'm going to show you exactly how I add extraordinary value to each one of these pillars, from pre-approval to closing the deal, and even beyond that. This is going to be the roadmap to the buying process, and more specifically, how I do my job. The goal is that by the end of the video, you would have listened to my entire buying presentation pitch without us ever meeting face-to-face and with absolutely no obligation to hire me as your agent. So stay tuned for your very own buyer agent presentation. Let's get started. As you are interviewing agents, you're going to be hearing a lot of the same thing. And to be honest, most real estate agents do in fact perform the same tasks. They sign you up to an automated MLS email to let you know the properties that are currently on the market. They will wait to hear back from you to see which properties you like, and they will be your access to opening up the door for you to go look at those homes. If there's a home you like, they put in a contract on your behalf and you cross your fingers and hope you get it. If you do, then you are under contract and the agent moves the contract along all the way to the closing table. This is what most agents do. My job today with this interview is to show you where I can bring more value to you as a buyer. So let's start here. There are basically 7 pillars to every real estate agent transaction. These are the pieces. We have 1, pre-approval of your loan with a trusted lender. 2, there's the home search component. 3, we need to understand the market dynamics. Next, we're going to do some offer research. So before we put in an offer, we need to do a bit of a deep dive and study before we put in an offer on this home. 5, we're going to take a look at all the components of the offer. Yes, it's one offer, but there are different components to it. 6, we're going to talk about the contract period, from the time you are under contract all the way up to the time you sit at the settlement table. And then finally, we have the settlement and post-settlement pillars and all that entails. So let's start with the very first pillar, the pre-approval. Now, before we do anything at all, any home searching, we have to start with getting a pre-approval from a lender. He or she is going to be one of our team members for this transaction. Now, some buyers will go straight to their local bank, and ultimately that's your call. But one of the things that I'm going to do is to try to get you the best rate. The local bank is probably not the best place to go for this, in addition to the fact that they're probably not going to give you the much needed support throughout the buying process either. My suggestion would be to work with a mortgage broker. See, a mortgage broker doesn't have just one loan product. They work with different banks and different loan products that really broaden your choices exponentially. And depending on your credit score and depending on your loan to debt ratio and a number of other factors, they can match you with a loan that's catered to you, and that includes getting you a better rate. In addition, that lender is going to see what other things you may qualify for. Are you a first-time home buyer? Do you qualify for a grant, or do they know of some money available to help you with your down payment or your closing costs, or both? I can tell you that these are the lenders that I work with on my own transactions, whether it's a buy or a refinance. I can also attest that not once in all of my years of working with these lenders have any of my buyers fallen out of contract with a property. And that's a testament to the phenomenal job that they do when it comes to qualifying my clients for their loans. Speaking of qualifying you, they're going to verify your assets. So there is documentation that you're going to have to provide to them. We're going to make sure you understand how much home you can buy and how much down payment and closing costs are going to be when you get to the closing table. You're going to have a very good idea what your monthly payment is going to look like, down to the taxes and the HOA payments if you have them. We're going to package your offer. So myself and your lender are going to make you look good on paper, and we're going to get your lender to talk to the seller's agent along with the offer to make your offer really stand out. We're going to get the seller's agent too. We're going to get them on our team. That means I'm going to create some rapport and trust with the other agent and tell them as much as I can about you along with your offer. And that's important. We don't want to be just another offer. When he or she presents our offer to the seller, that seller's agent is going to know more about us than any of the other offers. The second pillar is the home search. So what are the platforms that you're currently using for your home search? Most buyers are very savvy and they can do their own searches. Almost none of those searches are done through the MLS. There are so many other platforms that are much more robust and easy to navigate. So you can continue to use those. Now, a lot of websites don't have coming soon listings, and you definitely want to know about coming soons. So pay attention to that. If you don't have a favorite platform yet, I would suggest you start using homes.com. That seems to be working really well with buyers, and their information for the most part is pretty up to date as well. Now, a lot of agents wait around for the buyers to send them listings on the homes they're interested in. And this is where some agents get a little lazy. I mean, you definitely want to send me what you like, of course, but I do something a little different. I look at off-market listings as well. So let's say with this low inventory that we are experiencing now, you're looking to buy in a specific neighborhood, but there are no homes listed for sale. I have access to expired listings and withdrawals. Homes that were on the market before, but they didn't sell for whatever reason. Some of these homes still have active listing agreements in place. So when I go into the system, it'll say something like, agents do not call, seller has a valid listing agreement in place. And then I know to call the agent. Other times, this information is not given and I can go ahead and track the seller and call the seller. So I can even go knock on their door and we can try to see if we can find something that's not on market. And that's great because that means there's no competition with any other buyers if we are able to find a home that way. How about pre-coming soons? My brokerage has a list called the Hot List, where agents have knowledge of homes that will be coming to the market soon, but they're not even on the MLS yet. As agents in our brokerage firm, we have access to that list and we can match a buyer with a pre-coming soon and vice versa. By the way, my brokerage firm, RLAH Properties, has more exclusive off-market properties than any other brokerage firm in the area. These are hundreds of upcoming listings that can't be marketed to the public just yet. So this is in addition to the coming soons. Then we have new construction listings. Sometimes you'll find builders who list 3 or 4 homes to sell. Some of those may be spec homes that they're wanting to sell a little faster, but really if it's in a development, there's more than 3 or 4 homes. There's 40 or maybe 50 homes that are available to be built with different floor plans and different lot sizes and sometimes even different communities. So that's another avenue that we can explore, is new construction. So as you can see, for the search process, it's very important that I know what it is that you are searching for. And most buyers don't really know what it is that they're looking for until they've seen a couple of homes. And that's okay, but we just have to figure out and narrow that search so that we can find what it is that you're looking for. Pillar number 3, market dynamics. Now, as you're searching for homes, something you also need to understand is the market dynamics, the relationship between active listings, pending listings, and sold listings. If you're zoning in on a specific area, what's the average list to sales price ratio for that neighborhood? Are they getting full list price, or are they getting more? Are they getting less than what they're asking for? If it is more or less, by how much? See, historical data is going to help us to create a compelling offer. What's the average days on market? Are there sellers giving any concessions, and how much are they giving in this area and at this price point? If you're watching the news, you're hearing all that's going on nationally with real estate, but what's happening nationally doesn't matter. See, we have to hone in on what's happening here locally. We want to concentrate on our micro market, our zip code, and our price point. I want to know if at this price point, are we looking at multiple offers or anything else that's going to affect our offer strategy? And this is a great exercise for you buyers as well. At the end of the day, I want my buyers to know more than most real estate agents by the time we're done with the entire buying process. Okay, pillar number 4, offer research. Once you find a property you like, it's going to boil down to a process of elimination. And by that I mean, there will be homes that you just won't be interested in, and we eliminate those from our list. If we can't eliminate it, then we're going to do some offer research. So at this point, my job is to gather intel for the potential offer, and all the components from point 3, market analysis, comes in. We're going to call up the seller's agent. We're going to find out if there are any offers on the home currently. We're going to find out as much as we can other than the price. What's important to that seller? Do they need a rent back? Anything specific that they're wanting to see on an offer that would be important to them. For example, you as the buyer have the right to choose the title company that you want to work with, but does the seller prefer to use a specific title company because not only are they selling, but they're also buying another home, and having both transactions under the same roof would be easier for them? Is that something that we can do to make our offer more attractive? Absolutely. We want to show the seller good faith, and showing them we want to work with them as much as we can on this deal. Building some rapport with the seller's agents too is important, so they can attach a voice, a name, and a reputation with that offer that we're going to be submitting. All right, pillar number 5, the components of the offer. So an offer boils down to just 5 things. We have the purchase price. We have closing costs, what we are requesting as concessions for the purchase. And we have contingencies. This is where I protect you as the buyer in the sale of this home. Just think of it this way. When you go under contract, you have the right to buy the house. You don't have to buy the house. And those contingencies are going to protect you. We had a home inspection contingency, but we found some structural problems. You can get out of the contract. Or the appraisal is too low and you no longer can pay the difference because of the appraisal price. You can get out of the contract. Or for some reason at the end of the day, you could not get financing. Well, if you can't get financing, you can't buy the house. So you can get out of the contract. All of these are mechanisms to protect you from the sale if need be. Then we have the deposit, or the EMD. This is the deposit that, should your offer be accepted and ratified, you will have to deposit with the title company or the settlement company to open escrow for the disbursement of funds at the settlement table. And then lastly, we have the settlement date. We set a date, typically between 21 and 30 days, to get to the settlement table. So this is what the offer is composed of. These are the parts that make up the one offer, and we want to cater it to this particular property we're putting in an offer, always. Now, how we submit an offer is also very important. Most buyers' agents disqualify themselves based on their lack of communication and how they present their offer. So as a seller's agent, when I've represented a seller in a transaction, I've seen offers come in where there are important initials and signatures missing, or entire documents that are missing. Sometimes the offer is sent in 4 different PDFs. There's no summary of the offer, and they forgot to put in the pre-approval letter. The way you put your form together is also very important. There is a certain order in which your pages should be set up, just for ease of reading and presenting the offer. Some buyers' agents send me documents that I don't need for the contract, affiliated business contracts, and other things that are completely irrelevant to the offer. Some agents just don't look over their buyer's contracts before they send them over. So what I do is I package your offer. 1 PDF and a thorough offer summary. I have your team member, the lender, also reach out and call up that seller's agent, and we both coach the listing agent on how to present our offer to the seller. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times we can influence the conversation between the seller and the seller's agent. So not only do we make sure you look good on paper, we also make sure we advocate for you with a phone call, and we elevate that offer by looking as professional as we possibly can. We're presenting your offer in a suit and tie. One other thing I like to do before I hit that send button to send out that offer, I give the listing agent a call and let them know that I'm about to send them an offer, and I verbally give them a summary of the offer. I then include a written summary of the offer in the body of the email along with that 1 PDF, and I request that they confirm receipt of our offer either via text message or email. So now we get to the part where your offer has been accepted, where what we call ratified or under contract, which means that all the signatures and initials between buyer and seller have been placed on a legal sales contract. This is day 0 of our timeline, all the way until we get to the closing table. Just as important as anything else in this process, how you administer the transaction once you are under contract is very important. Now all the days become live, and there are targets that we must hit. So now my job is to laser focus on those dates, those contingencies, make sure I receive the HOA documents if there are any, make sure our loan is moving, and push these dates, push the transaction all the way till we get to the closing table. At this point, we also have another member of our team that comes aboard, and that's the title company. I carefully curate these title companies for you as well. Just like not all mortgage lenders are created equal, not all title companies are created equal as well. Yes, they basically do the same thing, but the ones I work with, I have a very good relationship with them. And we also want to make sure that their fees are relatively less compared to the other title companies, because some title companies do charge more for their services. So now, as the newest member of our team, I am now in constant communication with the title company, making sure we give them anything they need so that they can do their title work for this specific transaction. So the last pillar, post-settlement. So now you've gotten to the closing table, you've been handed the keys, and moving day is here. Well, that doesn't mean I've stopped working with you or for you. After closing, you have access to any and all of my professional contacts and contractors. If I don't currently have a contractor relationship, I will get one for you. I will find one and I will vet them for you. If you have questions about taxes, now that you're a homeowner, I can put you in touch with an accountant or a tax preparer. Post-settlement, if you need anything at all, we continue to work together. So those were the pillars, the 7 pillars of basically any real estate transaction. Now let's talk about commissions. As you know, the NAR settlement left buyers and sellers and their agents and brokerages in a scenario where we have to do things very differently. First off, before we go view homes, buyer and their agent must have a buyer-agent agreement signed. This buyer agreement will also stipulate what you, the buyer, will be compensating me, your agent. This figure that we come up with is set in the agreement. Remember, this fee is negotiable. Now, with your offers that you present to sellers, you will be able to ask for some sort of concession for you, buyer. Of this concession that you are requesting from the seller, you may use some or all of the concession to compensate your buyer's agent. This compensation is now an integral part of the buyer-agent relationship and agreement, because we have to put in some sort of compensation on that agreement. Given my extensive experience, proven track record, and the exceptional value I bring to every transaction, I charge a 2.5% commission of the sales price, and it's a fair reflection of the service you'll receive. Coupled with my communication to you and attention to detail, I'm confident that my expertise will not only find you your dream home, but also bring you peace of mind with your purchase. I brought a copy of the buyer-agent agreement with me today. What we can do is look over the agreement together and see if you have any questions that I can answer for you. Again, most agents do the same basic tasks, but I want to make sure that you understand the difference in how I approach the buying process with my clients. So that's it. That is my buyer presentation to you, talking about the process and what my job as a real estate agent is, bringing exceptional value to your home search. If you've already spoken to other buyer agents and you're on the mend on who you want representing you in the biggest transaction of your life, then please contact me and we can further discuss the possibilities of representing you as your agent. For you buyers that need a little bit more, I would be more than happy to send over my free digital brochure, my Home Buyer's Guide, with more information on the buying process, plus tons of extra information like a list of trusted vendors, home inspectors, and title companies that I've worked with, all vetted for you. All you have to do is send me an email at the email address on the screen and request your Home Buyer's Guide. Even if I don't end up being your real estate agent, you will have access to my curated list of people I trust. All I ask is that you let them know who sent you. If you know of anyone in the area that is looking to interview a real estate agent to buy a home in Montgomery County, make sure you send them this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and please let me know in the comments what other questions you may have about real estate. My goal is to give you good quality content and be your source for all things real estate in Montgomery County, Maryland. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.